Awesome. So here's the setup. The angle that I have the camera's a little off. I'm coming slightly in from the side, but still we can see our big three. Ball inside the left heel. Inside of the heels, shoulder width apart. That looks really good right there. I know you said that was a little uncomfortable at first to stand that wide. That looks great. And then we have the angle of the spine is down to the ball. So all three of those look really good. That checks off. Now through the swing, let me just clear all those off here. I'm going to throw one line down on your spine. That's the most important one here. And we're also going to pay a little bit of attention to your arms, but not till the end. So as you make the swing, you do move off of the ball a little bit, which is fine because you maintain the spine angle. If you moved off the ball and the spine changed, that's different. But if you can keep that angle, even if you move off, that's great. And I've heard Kyle Berkshire talk to Bryson DeChambeau about that. He's like, don't be afraid to move off the ball. Just hold your angles. This is where we're getting into the trouble. Is in transition, there's your baseball. Let me go over to the other side because now look at your spine angle.
Right.
It changed. So once that changes, you're either going to drive the ball straight into the ground because now everything's set up with this negative angle, or you're going to figure out how to throw the hands. And that's what's happening. Now, we want to see kind of that position. It's in between the two. In between that frame and this frame is impact. But we see here the hands get thrown and turn. Part of it's the grip. I'm not super concerned about that. We can make the grip work. But in order to make the grip work, your impact, your hands need to feel here while the club is just getting to the ball. And if we look at Kyle, that's what he's doing. His hands are out covering his left pocket at impact, even though the club is behind. Your tendency is for your hands to be kind of, we'll call it center belt buckle, and then the club passes. And that's adding loft and getting the club to close. But the more important thing comes back to that shift in spine angle. Is right there. Now, what we're seeing is called a lack of dissociation. So let me put that into English. If we look at your hips, and then we look at your shoulders, you've made a big separation, what we call X factor. The shoulder turn is much bigger than the lower turn, which is great. However, on the downswing, rather than the lower body just going and the upper body holding its position, the whole thing goes together.
Oh, yeah, now I'm right back to the square.
Exactly. And now hitting a powerful ball from there is doable, but it's inconsistent. Exactly. So how do we fix that? Well, it typically starts with just checking out mobility. Do your joints move in the right way? Can you even physically get into those positions? But then secondly, assuming you have the right mobility, is are you able to activate your butt and your core? And so I'll give you both a little test right now. I want you to stand nice and tall. Yep, no clutch. Stand nice and tall. You can both do this for me. So stand tall and squeeze your butt as hard as you can. 3, 2, 1, relax. Squeeze your butt as hard as you can. 3, 2, 1, relax. All right, one more time. Close your eyes. Squeeze your butt as hard as you can and make a mental note. That's a 10 out of 10. You can't squeeze it any harder. Relax. Pretend like you're about to hit a golf shot. Squeeze your butt as hard as you can.
It's weird.
It's not the same, is it?
Where is it?
Okay.
It's like I keep squeezing my hamstrings.
Nailed it. What do you feel?
I can, but it's not as intense as when I was closing my eyes. But I feel it.
So it's there, but it's not. So compared to a 10, would you say it's like a 7 or an 8 or a 6?
Mine's like 5.
Like a 5.
Mine's like more 7.
7, and you're feeling it more hamstring.
Yeah, I try to squeeze it, but I'm getting my hamstrings involved.
So what we're talking about is something called reciprocal inhibition. And in English, it means that when one group of muscles is contracting, the opposite group is relaxing. So for example, if I want to pick up this box of balls, my biceps will contract, But the only reason my arm moves is because my triceps relax. If my triceps don't relax, I'm stuck. Nothing's happening. So what's happening out of our control is when we bend over, our hip flexors on the front are really tight. They're probably chronically tight to begin with, but then when we bend over, they contract. When these are tight and contract, this won't. But we need this to. Your butt is the most important muscle in the drive. Stretching. So we need to loosen your hips so that your butt can squeeze. Because right now, we just proved it. If you stand tall and squeeze, no problem. Because these aren't contracted. If you bend over, this won't do it. So we gotta, one, teach your brain how to talk to your butt. And then two, we need to teach your butt how to turn the hip flexors off. And that's kind of like a two-step process. So there's two different things, and then all of a sudden, it's going to start to come together. So like doing your bandage good morning, kind of I would love to great to turn them on. 100%. Not turning the hip flexors off. So to do that, we need to learn how to stretch these guys. So I'll give you a basic intro to it. We both come up in this area here. And I want you to stand into a lunge, split stance. And I want you to jump up straight forward. Okay, so don't let it open up, keep it straight forward. Toes at 12 o'clock. Awesome. Still want a little bit more separation, but yes, there. Awesome. And square those toes up. Don't let you come into the side. Straight and straight. Now we're going to get off of your heels. Stand just on your toes. Take your right leg. Push the heel down and back. Squeeze your butt and push your hip forward. You should feel a stretch right here.
I don't feel so much a strap.
Yeah, so, exactly. So don't lean back.
I can't stretch that without the strap. Go back some.
You can go back a little, but we want to stretch through the hip, not through the back.
I don't think I have my foot back.
Yeah, that's very well. Forward's actually pretty good. You want to drive this heel back. Too much cramp? Yeah. Okay. So that's good. Relax. So that tells me your hips are so tight. Now you have a good situation. Your hips aren't as tight. You're feeling it. Yes. That's it. These muscles here in the front of our legs, they more or less connect the leg to the lower back through your pelvis. Yes. Yes. Back pain from your spine changing angles and swing. This is the number one cause of back pain at all. Your spine changing angles in the middle of swing. You do that enough times, wear this out. Because now you're asking the lower part of your back to move, the lower part of your back is supposed to stay really stable. So let's go one step farther. I'll have you come onto this wall, you come onto this wall. We're going to get onto our hands and knees. Now, you're wearing pants. I'm wearing pants. We'll get you a towel for you. Yeah, it'll tear your knees up. So we're going hands and knees. Let's stretch our right side first. We're going to put your right foot on the wall with your knee a little bit away from the wall. It doesn't have to tuck in. Your left leg out in front. You're just going to hang out there. Yes, exactly that. If that's all you got, then that's all you got. So now, hang out there, and your goal is to take your pocket and push it down to the floor. Feel it. Now breathe. so tight that they won't stretch out. We have to stretch the thigh to get to the hip. This would be something I highly recommend at least 5-10 minutes a day. Do your bandage, get the band out, do deadlift, good morning type things, get the butt firing. Then do this. 2 to 5 minutes per leg per day. Good day. It'll change everything. Then all of a sudden, this butt squeeze. Keep that swing, your whole posture. Right now, we're video in slow motion. So a lot of leg movement. Because your legs are doing what the hips can't. Because we know when you hold those angles, when you drive the club in, we get you down to 2,000 spin with the first run. It's just, can we continually do that? And right now, your body's like, no, please stop. And so we have to kind of get free of it, or you're just going to get injured quicker. Because then you're bent your foot so many times, it'll eventually snap. Now another way you can just kind of ease into it is if you get into a driver stance, and then focus on your knees going out, up and back, but keep your knees out. And that opens the hips. Yes. And that opens the hips. And then turn the other way, keep your knees out. Here. Oh, you're bringing it from here? It's not at all. Over here. This way? Left hand down, right hand back. Now right hand down, left hand back. Oh. Yes. Just back and forth. And then you feel your hips open. Probably both. So remember, your hips and your back are best friends. If the hips are tight, you'll feel it in your back.
So you're saying the morning, the stretch like that one,
Yep. Good morning first, because that turns your butt on. Once your butt is turned on, use your butt to turn the other muscles on. Right? Because remember, one muscle is contracting, the other's relaxed. So if we can get your butt to squeeze, we can get the hips to relax. So the more you squeeze your butt through this type of stretch, squeeze, this will relax. It takes time. It takes a minimum of 30 seconds. 2 minutes is optimal, and it takes breath. You have to. So since
he's the one who said
breathing. So the one step farther. Since you felt this earlier, let's go to the same stretch. Split lunge on the toes. Drive the back leg down. Squeeze the butt first the point. Now you're feeling it here, right? I want you to twist your chest towards your left leg, and then take your right hand and reach up and over. Yes. While twisting left. Now breathe. It's a lot of work, but it works. You're conditioning your body to improve range of motion. You're conditioning your nervous system to relax. And you need to do them both at the same time. Otherwise, it doesn't stick. That's why, back in the day, like high school, you go to gym class and they say, all right, everybody, let's bend down and touch our toes. Now let's stand here for 20 seconds. It doesn't work. Because yeah, absolutely. And I did record this.